Hey, it's a Tennessee Tuesday because Raw was in Nashville yesterday, and I'm Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. But I'm here, per usual, with Mr. Robert Karpelis, star of Working Stiff. Robert, how are you today?
Dom, you're the only 10 I see, unfortunately, on a scale of 1 to 100.
Oh, well, okay. So that's not a good grade then.
That's
But either way, not a good grade at all. Let's give some shout-outs.
You know why, guys? Before we even get to the shout-outs, Dom forgets to send me the invite. I'm sitting here, I'm waiting, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I got nothing. I text him, oh, I kind of forgot. You only forgot your co-host. Best producer in all of wrestling Twitter. Let's say hi, a wrestling podcast. Let's say hi to Dre Owens, who says, hello, R&I. The women took over the first hour of Raw. Will Tony Khan do the same for AEW? No.
I do not.
Joseph Good Walters is back saying, morning, rumor heads. Alt Jake says, hi, Dom. Hi, Robert. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers. And Wrestling Old Head says, thinking Braun Breaker is a big Simpsons fan with that homage to Homer's foam cowboy hat from Whacking Day. That is not what that was, Wrestling Old Head. That was the secret security camera hat that Homer wore to bring down the Quickie Mart.
Oh, how about that? I love that. We'll talk about that segment, but I really enjoyed that.
Joseph Walters, is Robert running a drive-through with that audio? Is there an audio issue?
You're very it sounds like you're on a radio show, like an old radio show.
Let me jump out and jump back in.
Jump out, your audio from Something to Wrestle With sounded a little like that too. I noticed. So
it must be something weird with the old laptop. Great.
All right, give it a spin, Rooney, if you want to exit out and exit back in. Hey, but yeah, good to be here, everybody. Jeff Hedinger also says last night everyone was talking about Liv's bloody gash. Oh my gosh, yes, that was quite the cut, right? Holy smokes! We'll talk. I'll talk to Robert about that because that was pretty wild, man. I should not have read that. Oh, man, I need to start looking sometimes before I pop stuff up here. Lou 4237. Now this is just between you and me. Smashed head. Another nice reference. All right. Well, what do I want to chat before Robert gets on? I was happy to see AJ Styles back. Let me just say that. Him walking into the ring and them showing like him doing that. He knows how to handle the camera. He's just really good all around. And it's nice to have him back. I hope he stays healthy. Let's see if Robert is healthy. Oh, look at that. Yes, Robert, how are you?
Can you hear me now?
You sound great. You sound
Thank you.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Yes, Super Nintendo Chalmers. I changed the thing. We're good.
We're good. Hey, I just...
What was that, a gong?
That was my soda I was drinking and made a can noise.
You are a professional to no end.
Your thoughts, just starting off, AJ Styles return. How did you feel about it?
Happy to have him back.
Yeah.
The promo, it felt kind of like, where were we? You know, he was basically, when the last time we saw him, he was delivering that promo about, I don't know how much time I got left, and am I going to, wrap things up sooner rather than later, and maybe this is the beginning of the end, and then he got hurt, and we're like, oh, I guess that was the end of the end. So then this was previously on AJ Styles, I was going to say, as the world turns, but we know the world is flat, according to AJ Styles.
Oh, my God.
We love AJ, but, anyway, I thought that his promo was fine of, hey, there's something I want to do at WrestleMania, and then bringing out Dominic Mysterio, the other Dom, as his first kind of opponent for next week. It's a smart idea. It's a clear heel. It's a dude you can beat 100 times out of 100 who's going to give you a good match. I like it.
I do too. Really well set up. And Dom just, man, massive heat. It's just unbelievable. It's like very unprecedented almost in certain ways.
Because people enjoy the interactive nature of it. They enjoy being able to boo Dom in a way that's fun and organic. It's working for a lot of people. It's clearly working for Jey Uso. It makes Jey Uso feel like a big deal. It works for Seth Rollins. It worked a little bit for Lyra Valkyria, for being honest.
Yeah, it did. That's a good point too. Talking about some stars, we should talk about some stars from other company that are no longer there, apparently. We had some reports that 3 named stars are no longer with AEW, and as expected, Malachi Black, Miro, and Ricky Starks, they are no longer on the roster page. And there was some reports, I believe, from PW Insider as well as Fightful that they are no longer there. So, Robert, we've talked about Ricky Starks quite a bit on here from time to time. Haven't really touched too much on Miro, I don't think, since I've got here, but we haven't seen him. But wanted you to get your thoughts on those releases and expectations of their future.
I'll put them in order of importance. I think Malachi Black is the person who WWE can pick up tomorrow and instantly upgrade their programming. It makes a lot of sense given that he is married to Zelina Vega. He does a lot of the spooky nonsense that would meld well either with a Wyatt Six situation, a Karrion Kross situation. Not to mention, dude's a hell of a wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
He's someone that Triple H was a big fan of. So it makes sense that, the old man is gone. Let's bring back someone that he likes, which is the same logic Hunter has used with some other people who were let go that he brought back in and said, I can find a way to make these people successful. Malachi Black, with the entrance, with the pomp and circumstance, with the proper build, can be an immediately impactful person. And if you want to know, hey, how do you bring that dude in? Spooky possess Shinsuke Nakamura open challenge.
Ooh.
That's all you need right there. And a Nakamura Malachi Black match right off the bat, that's really good. Ricky Starks, I think, is a guy who would do well to spend some time in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would freshen up the NXT product even more. He does need a little bit of seasoning, and that's one of those things that you see what he does. He's a guy who needs the reps. He needs that time there. I don't think he needs a ton of time at the Performance Center, but I think he can absolutely benefit from it. And I would put Miro at number 3, not because I don't think that he's talented. I think Miro's wildly talented. I think that there's an unpredictability to where Miro ultimately lies.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that he was frustrated with what was going on in WWE, never really got to a position that he thought he should have been in, went to AEW where you're supposedly given a lot of creative freedom. That never seemed to work out in his favor. He was off filming TV roles and movie roles and things like that. So if he's serious and focused and wants to contribute, I could see a role for him in WWE. I could see him choosing the TNA route and working with a somewhat lighter schedule with a really stacked roster where you've got Nick Nemeth for him to work with. You've got Frankie Kazarian for him to work with. I think there's going to be some of the WWE release guys who are going to wind up over there. I'll be curious to see, where they all wind up, but letting them go when they've been so upset for so long was a smart idea. I think, as far as Tony Khan is concerned, these were really good releases. And guys, speaking of good releases,
geez,
have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets. These erection-enhancing tablets help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexual activity. Blue Chew is putting its money where its mouth is and offering you a month free. Process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Guys, if you want to make a big impact like we think Malachi Black is going to, we can't recommend Blue Chew enough. It's going to make life easier by getting harder. And you can discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo.
Yes, thank you, Blue Chew. Yeah, I'm kind of with you when it comes to those releases and how they kind of go. I think Malachi Black, you can instantly input in there, and that entrance that he had in NXT, one of the best they had. He had a great theme. I think Triple H I could definitely see him just getting put right into the mix of things. When it comes to Ricky Starks, I would almost be apt for him to be a main roster guy because I think, and I want your perspective on this. What I've kind of been gathering is Triple H, when he gets these AEW guys, he kind of has a chip on his shoulder when it comes to it, I think, a lot of the times, because he puts them right in a great position, marketing position where they should have been. You think about the focus he put with Penta's entrance and everything like that, and making him feel like a star. And then, like, you revitalize somebody like a Malachi Black, and then, hey, throw Ricky Starks right in the mix of it too. I could almost see Triple H maybe wanting to go a main roster route with him. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't, because if you look at what he did with Ethan
Mhm.
Page was a guy who was definitely being underutilized in AEW, and he
Sure.
made an immediate impact on NXT. NXT being on the CW, you want an infusion of new talent. I think you need somebody that's going to be able to go in there and work with Obafemi.
Oh, good point.
Ricky Starks is a guy that if you hype him and he draws a rating for the CW, that's a feather in Hunter's cap. In
Mhm.
the yes, I used one of Tony Khan's toys and I got a better response than he did. I
Right.
don't think respectfully, I don't think Ricky Starks is main roster ready. I
Okay.
think that he's a dude who can use a little bit more seasoning before being put on there. And it also sends a bad message where anybody that jumps over from AEW automatically winds up on the main roster, because
Yeah.
you do have a lot of main roster talent who are
Mhm.
working really hard to get a foothold and find some success.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And like, definitely, you could still Triple H could have the cake and eat it too by making Ricky Starks a big star in NXT and helping elevate that brand. Absolutely. So, be interesting to see where that all pans out, and who, if they end up going to WWE ultimately, and what we get to see from it. We did get to see Jey Uso once again kicking off WWE Raw in Yeet fashion. Michael Cole, just don't show him when you do it. Just please.
Of
That's
course, you got to show you have to show goofy Michael Cole doing the overly exaggerated dance. It's funny. It makes the crowd happy. It plays into everybody's doing it. Everybody's enjoying it. Even gawky, awkward, late middle aged white guys.
Yeah, but does that make it cool then? You know what I mean? It's kind of the thing that takes it away from, oh, like, okay, Pat McAfee's doing, the crowd's doing it. You got Michael Cole doing it too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's everybody. I think the idea is that it's everybody, regardless of how they look, regardless of how they feel, they're all a part of it. And the Jey Uso entrance was played so perfectly here on this episode of Raw. Last week, his big entrance was organic.
Mhm.
It was the first time you were seeing him since winning the Royal Rumble. The crowd was super into everything that was going on with that they made him play the theme song twice. On SmackDown, it was a little less organic to play the song twice, but the audience was nevertheless really into it. This time, it really felt forced, and that was by design.
Mhm.
That you were getting that replay, so Gunther would attack him. No notes, loved it. Thought it was
I did
great.
too. And hey, we got our first match for WrestleMania. It will be Gunther defending his championship against Jey Uso. It just seems like the right route, and they're, yeah, starting off really well, I think, for Jey. Everything here, so should be intriguing. And how will they keep it intriguing throughout WrestleMania season as we build to that? So, yeah, I'm all for it though, Robert. Um, Next up, we happen to have Damage Control, Io Sky and Dakota Kai taking on Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. Man, Robert, this was a great match. Lots of good action in here. Raquel Rodriguez looked like the enforcer that she's been portrayed as. Io Sky is just so talented, and then Liv Morgan with that open wound on her face. Just lots of cool elements coming into play with this one.
A lot of great elements in this. As much as I did not like the Bianca Naomi match with Liv and Raquel, I loved this match.
Yeah.
Io Sky is the best women's wrestler that there is out there. Dakota Kai looked great in this. They paced this match perfectly. There was some drama around the getting to that finish. The blood, even though it was unintentional, gave it a little bit of added drama, and it made sense that Io Sky beat Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
You set up the Io Sky Rhea Ripley match in 3 weeks' time, which is important for Netflix. That, hey, we're pushing things forward. There's long-term stories. There's reasons why people should tune in week after week as episodic TV. Liv in that promo later on with Judgment Day, reminding people she's in the Elimination Chamber, so she's got a shot at Mania. Her and Raquel still have a women's tag team title shot. They will be fine. Liv can get her heat back immediately because I think they've really established her as being over.
Right. And I was just taking note watching her go in the ring, she's improved so much, like as a wrestler. It's really good stuff, and like it speaks to the confidence that WWE has in her in that act. But then on top of it, the next match we get is Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. So two women's matches together. Uh, and both match, I thought this match was good too. And
This match was very good.
and the finish was good too. I thought protected Lyra, but Bailey advances and goes to the elimination chamber.
You know, they had a kind of difficult situation, and this was something AEW had to deal with for the Continental Classic, where you had individuals who had titles who needed to lose matches.
Right.
You know, Danny Garcia lost matches in the Continental Classic tournament. You needed to protect Lyra, who is the Women's Intercontinental Champion. So you have her go in there with Bailey, who is a former world champion. She won the Royal Rumble. She main evented WrestleMania last year. So it was a back and forth competitive match. It was a workmanlike match, which is befitting the Intercontinental title. Right. And the fact that Bailey caught her as opposed to a definitive win helped both women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thought this was great.
Yeah, we talked about AJ a little bit. He cuts the promo here, and I thought that was great. And yes, getting excited for that. Carlito getting a little of that heat as well, just being alongside Dom too. I should note, I guess.
Well, Carlito's a pro. He knows how to bump for him. He has no vanity and ego. He's just kind of happy to be there.
You're right.
So I'm all for it.
I liked his purple skinny jeans too. I'd wear those. So what I wouldn't wear is what Seth Rollins wore. We got to see him next. He was in the crowd with Jackie Redmond and cut a promo about Elimination Chamber, but he has to face Finn Balor first, who interrupts the promo. We get a little confrontation between those two, one another saying that they're in each other's way, and they smile at one another, and the match is on for next week. This was another paint-by-numbers Seth Rollins promo. Just not feeling this, not feeling his act right now.
Not feeling his act. This was a smart decision on their part to have this promo to remind people. Again, we got to keep the Netflix folks happy. Next week, you're going to get Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. This was a SummerSlam match. This is a WrestleMania caliber match that you're going to get on, I was going to say free TV, but the free to subscribers Netflix show. So I didn't mind it entirely. Yes, Seth is kind of lather, rinse, repeat in what he's talking about there. The idea that he has unfinished business with Cody. No, you don't. We didn't want to see this last year. We want to see it less this year. It's reheated leftovers. And guys, I know that a lot of you are sick of the idea of reheated leftovers. So we want to talk to you about our friends at Factor.
Yes.
Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. Based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, results will vary depending on diet and exercise, but 8 pounds in 8 weeks, those are insane results. By the time you get to WrestleMania, you're like a totally different person. They got over 40 options across 8 dietary preferences for their menus on each week. It's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. You can eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/rumor50off and use code rumor50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code rumor50off at factormeals.com/rumor50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's a hell of a deal. I'm annoyed because we're 10 minutes away from being done and I get to eat lunch. I'm starving. Just sitting here thinking about those Factor meals. Not making me too thrilled. That's a lot of meat. And speaking of a lot of meat,
oh boy,
we saw the War Raiders and the Creed brothers go at it. Don, did you enjoy that match?
I love this match. Yes, I was curious how would they handle the Creed brothers because I couldn't imagine them winning the titles this soon, considering the War Raiders small reign so far. But I did like the finish of this too, just a DQ finish. But everybody looked great in this. I thought the Creed brothers were very innovative in their moves, and same with the War Raiders. They just look like a powerhouse ass-kicking team that we got to see in NXT a lot of the times. So yeah, this was a really good tag match too, Robert.
I enjoyed the hell out of the match. I like that this is so stupid, but I like that the teams wear matching gear.
I
It
agree.
makes them feel like cohesive, coherent teams as opposed to guys thrown together. And the move sets work. The fact that we didn't get a finish means they will revisit this, and it does feel like the Creed brothers have a pretty good opportunity to become tag champions when all is said and done, given them the momentum that they seem to be putting behind American Made.
Yes,
They set up the Ivy Nile Lyra Valkyria feud again. We know Chad Gable is off with a magic lucha whisperer.
that's right.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. It's intriguing stuff, Robert. I think, Ivy Niles growing up as a star too, I think in certain ways, and cultivating a good feud with Lyra. I think they're setting a good table for that.
I think like across the board, there were some things on Raw that were more successful than others, less successful than others. But the one thing that was great is everything feels like there's a forward moving direction. And, the CM Punk promo, which was next, was him touching on so many different things. The idea that John Cena got put into the chamber and didn't qualify for it. The idea that CM Punk has issues with Drew McIntyre. He has issues with Seth Rollins. He kind of has an issue with Logan Paul because Logan Paul eliminated him. And then boom, out comes Logan Paul. CM Punk has issue with the forgettable theme songs, which Pat McAfee was quick to jump on as well and say, it's been a problem of late. And it's almost like he saw a tweet during the Royal Rumble commenting on the forgettable theme songs and maybe hypothetically, theoretically, rumor and innuendo liked said tweet and then brings it up there on the show. Def Rebel might be the biggest heel in professional wrestling right now. Logan Paul might be the second best. His interaction with Punk was perfect. Dude, it was, hey, I eliminated you. You got to worry about me. And then Punk's like, you don't even have to worry about me. You got to worry about Rey Mysterio. And then we got a Rey Mysterio Logan Paul match at the in the main event that I found wildly entertaining.
I agree. I thought Logan Paul knows who he is, and the aspect of just Rey Mysterio being one of the best baby faces I think of all time. Underdog fighting from underneath, but just that charisma he has. These guys complemented one another very well, not just from a wrestling in-ring standpoint, but just they're dynamic with one another. And there was even when Ray got dumped to the outside and they were brawling on the outside, and just Logan Paul being able to sell for him and making him look good. And really, I like this match a lot. This is one of my favorite Raws of the year so far. Definitely
was. It was a well laid out, successful show from beginning to end. It advanced storylines going forward. You had some good matches. It moved at a pretty good clip. You had Braun Breaker in a cowboy hat.
Yes,
this works.
It did work. Yeah, I love the Braun Breaker thing. It was it was very comical in a certain way because you're he's just wearing a cowboy hat and he's staring him down, but then there was just no humor to it in the scheme.
Oh, I disagree. I found a lot of humor.
There was humor in it, but I mean, in their interaction, there wasn't humor. But
yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that we got a chance to catch up today and talk a little Monday Night Raw. Dom, you've got a litany of other podcasts floating around out there that the folks can catch up and hear more D'Angelo producing magic for the people he actually invites to his shows.
That's right. Yes, I invited Devon Dudley and Rob Van Dam to the latest episode of One of a Kind with RVD. Devon was our special guest. We talk about his time in WWE, their time in ECW together, what Devon's sons are up to, and what he wants to see them cultivate in the future. So lots of good talking points there. You can check it up right now on rvdtv.com or wherever you get your damn podcasts. Hey, we're going live today. Me, Greg Gagne, Magnum TA, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 4horsemanetwork.com. Today, we'll be talking about Raw. We'll be talking about those AEW releases and getting their thoughts on what could happen with those 3 stars potentially. So be sure to tune into that and ask some questions live. So go to 4horsemanetwork.com or OneTrueSportTV.com for that. You can also check out my new show that I'm going to be doing, Cleaning Up the Dirt Sheets. I do overall first episode of the state of the wrestling journalism business and give my thoughts on that perspective. Coming up, though, I'll be touching upon those media scrums that people attend and what the etiquette is there, what the game plan is there with a lot of stuff. So check it out at OneTrueSportTV.com. And Robert, you just did a little something to sports entertainment.
Did a little something to sports entertainment. We did a deep dive segment by segment on Raw and the overall creative process of what they rolled out there. Myself and Scott Chapman will be back this Thursday for Working Stiff. We'll be talking all the exciting things going on in the world of wrestling, but we will be here every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE_ish X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, Working Stiff, and ad-free shows. So on behalf of the Invite Master himself, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
2 hearts and just one mind, as Phil Collins would say.